Hey, how's it going today? Chris Brown, Med Preservation Inc., and I am coming to you with vlog number 3. Now, it's been a little while since my last vlog, but I recently switched projects to an Expanse project, and so it's taken me a little while to get settled in, and so hopefully we'll be coming to you a little more regularly now. And as you can see the new curtains behind me, I am coming to you from a Hampton Inn in Missouri. And as you may or may not know, I went to school at St. Louis College of Pharmacy, so it's good to be back here in the Show Me State. Tonight, as I alluded to in my last vlog, I want to talk about immunizations, and specifically the bidirectional immunization interface that is part of Meaningful Use 3. And for most sites, this will be required starting 2019. As part of this bidirectional interface, you will need to be able to submit and receive data. And when we talk about receiving data, we are talking about both historical vaccine information for your patients and also schedules or forecasting for the next vaccine date that may be due in that series. Often I get asked what types of vaccine you should build out. And my response to that is usually I think the bare minimum are the vaccines that are required by your state for children to attend school. So if you're one of these clinics or hospitals that don't really give a lot of vaccines, you still need to be able to transmit and receive that data. So I believe that these vaccines that are required by state law are probably a good place to start. So when we talk about this build in Meditech, there's a couple different ways you can do it. There's a query-based build, which is the old way, or the centralized model, which is the newer way. I think it's been around 5 or 6 years, probably at least. But Meditech has recently come out and said that if you're testing for Meaningful Use 3, that the only model or only build that you'll be able to use is the centralized model. So that centralized model is built in MIS. You have to build out the antigen component and vaccine dictionaries. If you're using NPM in clinics on client server, you'll probably also have to build out the APR immunization dictionary if you haven't done that yet. And if you're on Expanse, they've kind of streamlined this, and most of the build lives in MIS with some drug concept mapping and a few other things that you need to do. So within these MIS dictionaries, there's also some CDC mapping that you have to do. And the first part of that, if you go to the CDC's website, the first part of that is the CVX codes. And these are basically the codes that identify vaccines. They're out there for pretty much every vaccine that's ever been made, historical, discontinued, whatever. And this is what's going to allow facilities to map these vaccines back and forth through the interface. So very important that you get this correct. And with all the different components and vaccines and different brands and whatnot out there, this can be very confusing, but there is a table out there that will match your CVX codes to your NDC codes, which makes it a little bit easier. And again, that's on the CDC website. Another part of that mapping that is also on the CDC website are VIS statements, or Vaccine Information Statements. And these are information statements that are given out to the parent or to the patient, and just kind of tells what the vaccine is for and the type of side effects they may expect. And periodically, a new information statement will be published. So you want to make sure that you are giving your patients, the most current statement. And also you have to document that publication date as well. And so as part of this, you can build that stuff out in Meditech so that it just defaults in for your end users and they don't have to record that manually every time. And so I would highly recommend that. The other major part of the build is the interface work that has to be done for this to happen. And it's tedious. It's kind of back and forth. You make a change, you test it, you make a change, you test it. So there's a lot of testing that goes into this as well. And then, of course, along with that, there's some value set mapping to just kind of help those maps to the interface and to your EHR system. So that's really about the gist of it and kind of what I wanted to go over today. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I've done this a few times now. You can hit me up on Facebook, or you can contact me through my website, www.medpreservation.com. And so I think with that, that's really about all I had to say. Next time, I think I will be talking about style guides and ASCII sorts and maybe a few other things that are pretty pretty simple when it comes to informatics, but I've come across a couple people here recently that really didn't know about these concepts. So I feel like this is another good topic to discuss. And so with that, I will leave you, and just remember, always be kind, be careful, and choose joy.